when I read the story, I sat there in my office and cried. Right? I cried. The thing is, if you're not familiar with the Marjorie Mason story, I'm going to give you a brief overview, is the fact that beautiful young lady had a boyfriend, and he was beating up on her. Right? So much so, the sad part was that he was in law enforcement. And just like so many other intimate partner violence situations, it's escalated to finally homicide. Right? Now, the question is why is this so disproportionate in the African American community? Okay. Give you a quick history lesson. And the funny thing about the history lesson is if you know anything about Carl Jung's theory on counseling, I know some people in here should know it because they had a class with me just this past semester. But the thing about it is he has this thing called collective consciousness, right? And what collective consciousness is this. It's like the DNA memory of your ancestry. Okay? Now, let me give you a quick history. If you're not aware of it, 1865, for the most part, slavery, physical slavery ended, right? But what happened in 1865? 1865 to, let's say, 1955, or better yet, 1965, 100 years, right? 100 years before the civil rights movement even actually really got off the ground and the civil rights legislation was even signed. So for 100 years, still lived under the black code and the Jim Crow law. In the essence of where it's like this, I wouldn't be here. Some of the people that you're sitting around would not be here, right? Matter of fact, a lot of you all probably wouldn't be here. But the thing about it is, it's like this. They had specific designated areas for black people and white people as far as, black people and white people as far as where you're going to eat, where you're going to sit, where you're going to live, and a lot of that is still going on today. Right? And then the thing about it is like this. In Chicago, there was this young man, some of you all might have heard of him, his name is Emmett Till. Went down to Mississippi and allegedly whistled at a white woman. Never made it back home. But that kind of stuff, psychological stuff was going on, right? So the thing about it is like this, when you think of it like that, mentally, black men have never had a positive image of themselves. Till we get to media images. When I was a little bitty boy, little bitty guy, little bitty guy, one of the first movies I ever wanted to see was this movie called Shaft. Right? And I begged my mom to take us to go see the movie called Shaft. Because my two older sisters, they always got the movies that they wanted to see, right? All these Disney crap things, right? So when I saw the previews of Shaft, I was like, I gotta see that. So we went to go see Shaft, right? And the thing about it is, one of the greatest things about Shaft was that was the first time, because I had a single mom. And the thing about it is, that was the first time I ever saw a black man in power. So that was ingrained into my memory, that that's how a black man is really supposed to be. Take no crap, right? Fast forward, any of you all heard of Chief Keef? Any of you all heard of Jay-Z? He was just here. Anyway, the thing about it is this. These are the images that are being portrayed to black men today, right? Then you fast forward to the black women. What images are they getting fed? I ain't gonna get into that. So the thing about it is there's this theory called post-traumatic slave syndrome. What post-traumatic slave syndrome is saying is this. While the physical chains of slavery have been removed, the mental and the psychological chains have not. So the mental and the psychological chains are still there. So what it does is it's like it affects every aspect of the person's life. Their social, their interpersonal, They're domestic, they're international, the way the internalizing of what they think of themselves, the institutional. So all of that stuff is affecting the way the person thinks about themselves. And if you know a little bit about slavery, what you realize is this. Slaves were not allowed to have a stable family system. Because at a drop of a dime, you can be sold off. The female stereotypical images. If you look through all the media exploits of the black female, and just about any female in the history of the Western civilization, what you'll find is they basically fall into 4 basic categories, right? The Jezebel. The Jezebel, let me think. The best images I can put of the Jezebel is my favorite character. There's a new show coming out on BET called Being Mary Jane, right? Or you might be used to the show that all the praise now, Scandal, right? The thing about it is this: Jezebel. What a Jezebel is she's this. Unlike what you might think is, she's not. But the thing about it is she uses her sexuality as a weapon to get what she wants, right? So the thing is that's what she thinks, that she kind of manipulates men. Whether she wants them or not, she'll manipulate men. And that's what the media have it today as far as when you look at women in the media today, especially black women, right? Then there's the Sapphire. The Sapphire, there's this old show. No one in here is old enough to have known it, right? No one. No one in here is old enough to know it. It's always going to be one person who's saying, I saw it. This show called Amos and Andy, right? See? I know that. It's still called Amos and Andy. And Amos' wife name was Sapphire. And the thing about Sapphire was she was emasculated. She would always tell them how lazy they are, right? And then if you want to move into more closer to modern time, you ever watch this show called Martin? Gina has this friend called Pam, right? And what she always do is she tell, how, Martin is this little bitty shrimp and he can't do anything. But you always find in all these shows at least one black woman who always say she doesn't need a man. Right? Because she's too independent. She don't need a man. So that is being portrayed, right? So then you come to the part of the Mandy, right? The first most famous Mandy character is the show Gone with the Wind, right? The funny story about that is she won an Academy Award, but because of Jim Crow, she wasn't even allowed to go and get the Academy Award. She had to get a private ceremony to get it, right? But the thing about it is like if you look through the black shows now, you will see Mandy's. And then of course there's the matriarch, the strong black female who's in charge and over the whole family. And if you ever in your life go and see one of my favorite directors, Tyler Perry, you will see every single character in one. That was sarcasm when I said Tyler Perry. But the thing about it is this, you'll see all these characters, and just like when I was a little bitty boy and I saw Shaft, and then it personally made an impression on me on what a black man's going to be like, these images are going into black women and making them think that this is how they're supposed to be, right? But, so you won't think I'm misogynistic and messing with just the black female, let me talk about the black male. First of all, when you watch the media, you'll see the player pimp. And what the player pimp is, well, first of all, let me explain for all you all who might not know. There's a difference between a player and a pimp, right? So let me explain to you all what the difference between a player and a pimp is. First, the player is the guy who has numerous women, but they don't know about each other, okay? While the pimp is the guy who has numerous women, but they all know about each other, but they cool with it. They fight each other, not him. And I reference you back to the show Being Mary Jane, because once she found out the man she was sleeping with was married, she went and told the wife, but the wife didn't get mad at him. She didn't get mad at him. They sat there arguing with each other, right? So now that they both know each other, they go into each other's job comparing notes. Well, does he do this to you? Did he tell you he loved you? So it's like the thing about it is now, he started off as a player, now he moved over to the pimp role because